All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready for our next stream now. So we have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time being run by Khanster786, and commentary is going to be done by Dark Alex. Welcome to the stream, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for participating. Really looking forward to the run, so best of luck. And whenever you're ready, you can give us that countdown and we'll get things started.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for having us, everybody. Super excited to be here supporting a good cause. So, what did we end up with for our bid war? It looks like Raph took the final nomination for the Turtle of Choice. So, I'm sure that will make Conster happy. So, if we are ready to get this thing kicked off here, I will give Conster the countdown. All right, looks like he's ready to go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Big Apple.
So very exciting that we get to show off what Raph can really do for this run. He is the character of choice for this speed run, just because of the fact that he not only gets to move the fastest, but he also does the most damage. Now, he does have the disadvantage of not having quite as much health, so if things get out of hand, he loses a lot of health very quickly. So we do have to pay attention to that, but you'll notice that Conster's making very effective use of a whole bunch of different moves that we have at our disposal, especially that standing kick and that dashing kick that you're seeing right there. Those are Raph's special moves, and they can one-shot a lot of the basic enemies. All of these purple foot soldiers have just the right amount of health that they die in one hit, so we can use that to make quick work of a lot of different guys. But you'll see this slam throw here is an instant kill, using that to group up the enemies and make yourself some space. You also do have some invincibility frames while that's happening, so definitely a safe move. It just you want to make sure that you're capitalizing on it, because it does take 4 or 5 seconds to get through that whole animation. But so far, Conster having a really clean first stage. This 3 a.m. stage is actually very, very tricky. A lot of little things going on, especially the way you can manipulate when enemies are loading into the screen. So you can kind of control the pace of the action if you know where everything is going to spawn. This Baxter Stockman fight is one of the trickier ones to learn in this run, just because aerial combat's not really Raph's strong suit here. It's one of his downfalls, but it's very tricky to get a good amount of damage on Baxter quickly, so you'll see Conster taking advantage of any time he lands, wants to be using those special attacks. That is his highest damage output he's gotten consistently. There is one special attack that you can use involving dashing and flipping. You can do a tackle maneuver that does 20 damage, but you do need some good room to line that up. So, very nice fight from Conster.
Alley Cat Blues.
So moving into Alley Cat Blues, it's another really cool stage. Kind of narrows the playing field a little bit because we are in an alley. Conster making use of that fire hydrant there to actually take off an enemy just as it spawned. So very nice move there. Makes good use of that slam. Couldn't quite catch that last orange guy there on the right side. The enemies are programmed to stand just outside of it, almost as if they were taunting you. They knew what you were about to do before you did it. So cleaning that up and grabbing the pizza. This is the first appearance of the Roadkill Rodneys here. Very annoying enemies. It's just lucky that they have only 16 health, the same as Raph's special, so he is able to one-shot those guys as well. Casually, those are one of the harder enemies to deal with, just because they can lock you in place with their electric attack. They can combo you right out of your pants. So, Conster making pretty good work through this fence section here. A lot of enemies coming. It's very important to be able to keep those in check. So, finding the super pizza here, using that to take out all of the guys just as they spawn, and another appearance of our friend the fire hydrant. So, this last section here, right before the boss, all of the enemies are going to be spawning from the left side, so you'll see Conster kind of lining himself up for some shoulder tackles there to stun the enemies as they come in. So So very clean stage. He's going to be taking on the Metalhead fight. And you'll see he's going to be able to kick him back against the wall and just kind of chain those dashing specials. Or as we like to call them, the free special, because it doesn't take any of the health, but you still get all of the damage. So, very, very quick fight. Awesome job. Going into the first auto-scroller section of the game, and this will be a good time to sneak in some donations if we have a couple of those rolling in. This stage, we don't have a whole lot to speak of for the most part. There's no real benefit to taking out any of the guys here. There's no time penalty for not doing anything. So that is generally the optimal strat for the single-player run of this without doing the one-player two-controller. So sometimes you'll see characters are doing the wrong work. They've got two turtles in here, and they'll use this time to knock out the other turtle's life. But Khanster is playing it straight through. He's giving you all the content this game has to offer. So there's actually a special spot down in the bottom left corner there where those green gates won't be able to hurt you. So Khanster taking advantage of that and using the invincibility frames that the standing special gives us to just pass right over those spikes. So these pizza monsters, if you stay down here on the bottom right, all but one of them will not have any chance to hit you, so we just move out of the way of that one quickly. I'm gonna scoop up one last pizza. Right before the Rat King fight. Now this boss has two phases. Khanster is gonna be taking advantage of that big powerful special again. Be able to avoid any of the rockets or spikes that he's attacking us with while we're using that special. Actually, I'm going to start off with that combo there, finish him off with the specials. So nice little loop there. He took that first hit, but he was able to recover very nicely. So on to the Technodrome stage. Now this is one point where the run really starts to ramp up. They're going to throw a few more enemies at us. We're going to have our second appearance of the Roadkill Rodneys here. So we have kind of a gauntlet to go through for this whole stage. We've got two bosses that we have to contend with, plus the little elevator segment in the middle of it. So really throws all of the different techniques at you that you've learned over the last two levels. So it's a nice step up, but it was definitely a gatekeeper casually for anyone picking this up as a kid. So we've got the Mausers here. They only have one hit point, but they have a lot of reach, and they can definitely interrupt our attacks if we let them catch us off guard. So Khanster making nice use of the slams and the dash special there to cover a lot of ground and just take those out and make sure they're not an issue.
All right, I'm just going to pop in with a quick donation here.
Yeah, do it.
We have $3.54 from Zelda Blade saying, late but not forgotten, shoutouts to First Try Candle with Launch. So thank you so much, Zelda Blade, for the donation, and that puts us just a little bit closer to our end goal. We are less than $250 away, guys. Can we do it in the last 2 hours? Let's find out.
I think we can make that happen. So Khanster's taking up the Taka and Razar fight. He's going to just do one quick attack and then try to bounce back and forth, keeping them locked up with those dash specials. Awesome job keeping that combo going. Made that fight look way easier than you might remember it. So into the elevator stage. Still just part of this Technodrome, but we have a little bit of a gauntlet here. Just the same specific groups of enemies spawning from either side. So not too terribly difficult to keep everything under control, especially with that slam maneuver. You can cover pretty much the entire elevator. Nothing really stands a chance there. Between that and our dash special, Raph definitely has the easier time keeping everything contained. So, a couple of Mauser fights to contend with. Using that slide to get himself back in position. And wasn't quite able to catch both of them at the same time, but did a nice job of cleaning that one up. A couple of these enemies actually have lower than normal health just for this elevator stage, which is kind of interesting. You'll see Khanster's having to use his shoulder tackle here. These blocking enemies, there's really no good way to get around them other than a shoulder tackle or a slide tackle, which Raph can actually one-shot with the slide tackle if you have enough room to get that move going. And on to the tank shredder fight. So those same blocking enemies, Khanster's going to have to use that shoulder tackle maneuver to stun them and then throw them at the screen to damage Shredder. So far so good. The enemies are giving him some pretty nice spawns. He's doing a great job of keeping everything under control, throwing the enemies at the screen left and right. It can be very tricky because the enemy's movements are super random, and having to deal with that as well as avoiding Shredder's attacks while trying to maintain those shoulders and throws can be very, very challenging. So, awesome fight from Khanster. All right, and we're going way back to the past. Prehistoric Turtlesaurus. This is the first major gatekeeper of the run. Casually and speedrun-wise, this boss definitely makes us pull our hair out. It was a huge point of contention for me and my friends growing up with this boss. So anytime we were able to get past it, it's like, all right, we're going to finish this game now. So Khanster is going to do his best to show off how much of a silly fight this could be without him ever being able to do anything. The speedrun really does its best to tame the Slash fight, but every now and again things can get swirly, so we'll see how Khanster does. Right now, just trying to do his best to avoid these exploding rocks that these pterodactyls are dropping. I don't know where they're finding all of these things. The axe guys here have the highest health of any of the normal foot soldiers, with the exception of some enemies that they are also going to be introducing here in just about one screen. So, using that throw to get that high health enemy off the screen in a double. And doing his best. Very, very nice. He was able to lock up those stone warriors. That charge maneuver can blast you all the way across the screen. And that's another one of those attacks that the enemies can just combo you to death with. So, actually using the enemy's bombs against them, using that to take out some of these pink soldiers here. Gonna use that super pizza to take out another group of these purple soldiers and axe warriors. And one quick slam there. Take out those last couple of enemies. The second part of this stage, we have more of the charging dinosaurs that we have to worry about. One last obstacle before the Slash fight. See more of these blocking soldiers and more of the axe warriors. We do have one last refill on this pizza, so we can get ourselves prepared for the boss. One last group of stone warriors. And definitely using the power of that special. Alright, so he's going to stand right behind Slash and try to get the first hit off and just loop him all the way to death. That shoulder kick combo, got a nice rhythm going there. Ooh, and he was able to break out, but Khanster was able to pick that last one up. That was very, very nice. Heads up play from Khanster.
Skull and Crossbone.
All right, and from the prehistoric, we are off to the high seas. Skull and Crossbones, another very tricky stage. Very, very movement heavy. There's a lot of obstacles. You'll see little knots on the floorboards. Those will pop up and hit you in the face. Generally, when it happens, you're going to be in the middle of another group of enemies, so things get out of hand pretty quickly. It looks like he was able to demonstrate that. We have these arrow foot soldiers introduced in this stage, much like the bomb soldiers. They only have one thing to do. They can only throw one arrow, and then they leave. So most of those enemies we don't actually have to fight if we don't want to. It will force the enemies to spawn just a little bit quicker. Here we have the deadliest man in the high seas. We've got Cannon Guy. The most deadly accuracy with any cannon shot. It's unbelievable. The man is a psychic. Khanster's doing a great job doing his best to avoiding all of those cannonballs. No one getting flattened today. So using that super pizza and the enemy's bombs against them. And we have one last fight with the Frisbee guys here. This is a very, very tricky segment. The Frisbees, they can hit you on the way out and hit you on the way back with the same attack. So, real quick road to death, especially with the low health that we have with Raph.
All right, so we actually just got another donation.
All right.
From The Only Tugboat, donated $14.17 with the caption, "I like turtles."
Oh yeah. And Khanster did a great job of performing the quick kill on that boss fight there. You only have to fight one of the two enemies there, and then the other one will just kind of take care of the rest of the work on that fight. So, pretty neat trick there. Able to take Rocksteady over to the left side and keep him locked up with that dash special. And on to the train stage, because every good arcade game needs a train stage. This is kind of like Alley Cat Blues, where it is a little bit tighter quarters, but you're definitely doing your best to keep everything grouped up together to really, really fly through this stage. It's super, super fast-paced when everything goes smoothly. So we'll see Khanster making use of that slam throw once again to clear out that whole screen worth of enemies, and ooh, he manages to that guy got one shot in on him. These whip guys can be very tricky, just because they have huge range on that attack, but fortunately they don't have a whole lot of health. You can take them out with one attack, so very nice work cleaning up that screen, getting everything back under control. Quite a few groups of these Stone Warriors we have to worry about here on these next couple of screens. One of the big features of this stage, they do have so much health that makes it really important to get those things under control quickly. They do a lot of damage once they start breaking out with those charges. Khanster doing a great job avoiding those barrels. Letting the barrels do a little bit of work for him as well, taking out all the enemies on the left side there. Another group of these chain foot soldiers. And then we've got several more groups of Stone Warriors to contend with. We do have this bomb here on the top of the screen. He's going to use that to take out an entire group of enemies right here. And then hopefully skip by these last two foot soldiers without having to worry about them. And the barrel was able to finish it off. Very nice. So the Leatherhead fight here, he takes 3 hits and then he's going to run over to the other side of the screen. So we're just going to try to anticipate where he's going to be and use our specials. Able to get one quick hit in there to stun him and then round it out with a couple more dash specials. And he'll finish him off. Very nice. On to another one of my personal favorites, the Neon Knight Rider stage. It's our second auto-scroller of the game, making nice use of that Mode 7 graphics chip. This is a fun departure from the arcade version of the game. They actually made it so it looks like you're racing towards the screen instead of making it an actual side-scroller, so real nice touches with this port. But also has my favorite soundtrack of the game. Khanster just going to do his best to avoid all of these guys. Did take one shot earlier, so he's going to be taking advantage of some free street pizza. I'll never quite understand why they use a question mark icon instead of just the pizza icon like they did for every other pizza in the game. We're just going to kind of chill here at the very bottom pixel of the screen, watch these helicopter soldiers just fly right by us. They're not really putting a whole lot of effort into actually taking out the turtles. They're just enjoying a fine night out in 2020. Shoutouts to 2020. I'll be excited to see it look like this in less than 9 months. It's gonna be quite the adventure, I'm sure. I hope we can avoid the invasion of Krang, though. That would be ideal. So the fight with Super Krang here. We're going to be trying to do a very specific set of attacks to avoid a nasty bomb attack that he has. Not the most dangerous, but it wastes about 8 seconds in between attacks before we can really do anything. Khanster taking a quick hit there. Fortunately, not able to get quite enough damage onto him before this bomb attack happens, so he's just going to have to stay safe. Finishing him off with one more standing special.
Starbase, where no turtle has gone.
And on to the big bopper of stages, the Starbase, where no turtle has gone before. As Khanster likes to say in chat there, where runs come to die. Really throws everything it's got at you. They even add a laser trash can right at the beginning of the stage. Last time we'll ever see it, but they had to throw it in there. So, a lot of these Roombas running around, they're very, very tricky. They have a stun attack just like the Roadkill Rodneys, so especially with enemies like the Stone Warriors around here, we definitely don't want ourselves caught by that. Fortunately, they don't have very much health like the Mousers, so pretty easy to deal with, but definitely crazy to have all of these enemies happening at once. Making great use of that Super Pizza to take out all of those Axe Soldiers. A nice slam to take out this group here. Breaking out all the tricks, enemies teleporting in from who knows where. Queen out of the laundry. Dropping out of chutes. They're really pulling out all the stops. Makes you wonder who's still back at the Technodrome to keep Shredder safe. So another appearance of these Frisbee guys. Make a nice use of that slam in the throw to get them out of his life forever. Frozen 4 section here, very, very tricky. Gotta watch out for the giant bouncing iron balls of death. If you hit those into the right spot, you can actually get a little bit of damage on the enemies coming from the right side, so that's a nice little bonus from that. And a quick slam to clean this up. Another giant bouncing ball of death. And we're gonna have a few sections of Stone Warriors here coming up. The stage just seems to go on and on forever. So many things to deal with. These napalm guys are kind of nice because you only have to get one hit on them and they'll take off. As you notice with a few of them, they'll actually just leave on their own. The laser guys, however, will not leave on their own, and Khanster made that look really easy. Nice throw strats there. Getting ganged up on by that last group of chain guys there, but was able to clear it out with a couple of specials. Got one more Super Pizza here. Make a nice use of that slide tackle, take out the enemy just as it spawns. keeping himself out of harm's way with those laser beams. And couldn't quite despawn the blue guy, but he was able to despawn the orange guy there. Kicked him right off the side and just scrolled the screen away from him. And one last group of Stone Warriors before everybody's favorite boss, the UFO Krang fight. Having our biggest source of RNG here right at the end of the run. Krang can spawn at 3 different heights. Khanster's hoping to hit him with nothing but specials just because that is our strongest attack outside of the flip tackle. And getting 2 low cycles right off the bat is very nice. Doesn't look like he's going to cooperate for the 3rd cycle, so Khanster's going to have to deal with these Roombas real quick. Has to get down to 1 of those, and very, very nice. He was able to get the slam there in the corner and got 2 quick specials off on him, so very nice 4-cycle fight from Khanster.
Technodrome, the final shell shock.
And back to present day. The fight with Super Shredder here to save the Statue of Liberty. All 3 difficulties. The main challenge with this is on hard mode. He speeds up considerably. Though for our intents and purposes, it's actually kind of beneficial because we can get him into a position that we want a lot quicker. So Khanster taking the hot foot there, but able to get things back under control. Anytime he uses that dark blue attack where he shoots into the sky, we have a free opportunity to hit him with something that isn't a special. But for the most part, we can just spam our specials and use the iframes from that to get through any of his attacks. The fire just takes a lot of time. The mutagen beam will actually take a whole life from you, so nice he didn't get hit by that, and that is going to be time for Khanster. Shredder is over the edge. We have saved the city. And a nice runtime of 25:31. It's a good game going to Khanster. Very, very nice. And we'll get the approving look from Master Splinter and Jumping Guy, April O'Neil. And because it's hard mode, we get this awesome cutscene here at the end. Shoutouts to the staff who developed this game. Shoutouts to all the cast of characters. Shoutouts to all of you guys there in chat. Thank you so much for coming out to support this awesome cause, hanging out, playing some video games, and really just having a good time. It's awesome to see everybody come together to do something like this. Thanks to everybody on the back end making this restream happen. It's a ton of work that's going into this to make sure it's awesome for everybody. So you guys are doing a great job from what I've been able to catch for the weekend. Very excited to be here, and I appreciate you having me. So thank you to Khanster for asking me, and I'm glad I was able to help present this game for you folks.